Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Collective Spotlight. I got like D&D minis all hanging out. It's all just game store stuff. But I'm really excited because this week I have a new person to the show. Don's coming on the show, but Don actually has been in our shelves for a while. He worked with Travis Gibb on Cthulhu Invades Oz. He's done some cover work. He's got his own books. And he's also working on Travis and Jerome's next Kickstarter anthology, which is called Holiday Spirits. And Travis has told me that will be out before Christmas. But without any further ado, artist extraordinaire, Don Nguyen. How are you doing, Don?
Hi, doing great. Thank you very much for having me on. Appreciate it.
No problem, dude. Thanks for coming on. Travis Gibbs sent you our way or us your way, however you want to call it. But he said that he's got – I remember your name from Cthulhu Invades Oz, but you're also working on Holiday Spirits, which is Jerome's baby.
Yes.
How did you meet Travis and Jerome and the guys over at Orange Cone?
I believe we all met. I don't know if you've had Russell Nolte on. He does Wannabe Press, and he does Cthulhu. Cthulhu is hard to spell, and I was on the Terrible Twos, so I was on volume 2 of that, and Travis was on that, and then from that, I somehow accidentally got into his group. I think Russell invited me, and then I just became a part of their group. And since then, I've had the pleasure of being on 3 projects with them. The first being Cthulhu Invades Oz, and then the 2 in progress. The one that's currently running right now is Holiday Spirits, which is an amazing project. And the sequel to Cthulhu Invades Oz, which is coming up pretty soon, too. I don't know if I can talk about that quite yet.
I know. So I feel like it was in the back. Well, he's done an Ashcan, so at least it's Cthulhu Invades Wonderland is going to be the next one. I don't want to put dates in Travis's book, but I want to say it was early 2022. He's aiming for that sometime in that area. But I remember you were kind of a late addition to Cthulhu Invades Oz, were you not? Wasn't your story kind of a last minute ad?
Yeah, we were late because at that point, if I remember correctly, I might have been in the middle of getting my own stuff out. And as you mentioned, I have my own creator comic called Pablo the Gorilla. And that was also a Kickstarter project. It funded on Kickstarter, has an amazing variant cover that was done by two-time Eisner winner Dustin Nguyen, which is insane to me.
Ooh, so awesome.
I think we were coming off. It was either that or maybe I don't know. I've been on a lot of Kickstarter. I've been on over a dozen Kickstarter projects. So I was coming off one of the projects, and we just wanted to make sure that my timeline coincided with what Travis was trying to do, and I got in on a 3-pager amazingly with John, I hope I pronounced his last name correctly, Crowther, who does a lot of the wrestling biography comics. I think he just did the Road Warriors recently, which was insane property. So we got in on that, and we are doing another story for the sequel upcoming with Cthulhu Invades Wonderland.
Nice. And then for Holiday Spirits, I know I think you did a cover, correct?
No, I am doing the interstitials for that, and I did the character designs for the Holiday Spirits themselves, the ghosts of Christmas past, present, and future. And Travis wrote the stories. Alivon Ortiz, I want to say her last name is Rivera, did the colors, and of course, Jerome is doing the lettering on that.
And that's cool. Doing character designs.
Yes.
I feel like that's it's very different than what most people think. Oh, you're an artist. You do character designs all the time, right? But people don't. When you do a character design, you're kind of doing this with the idea that then other artists are going to see that and they're going to go off of that work. Correct? How do you handle when you're doing a character design for somebody like that?
It depends on what the project calls for. For this project, we actually spitballed a few ideas out there. It was some new ideas versus the traditional ideas, and for this we actually went traditional, but I changed a few of the characters around. So for the Ghost of the Past, I went with this idea of creepy Children of the Corn style girl with super white hair and an old Victorian dress. And then the present, I went with an African American / Black Santa inspired Christmas present, who I felt would be jolly, but also have a firm presence. And then for the Ghost of Christmas Future, we wanted a play on death, but I didn't want exactly to be like the Grim Reaper, so I mummified it a little bit. And I felt like each of the designs would be easy for another artist to replicate if need be. And one of the covers is actually another artist using those character inspirations, and that's Shay Connery Volk of Mad Cave's Nottingham, which is a popular title right now, which is insane to see.
Yeah, like Jerome had, and actually I'll probably pull it up because the Kickstarter is live. His video that he did to promote Holiday Spirits was awesome because it showed all the talent that's in this book. I mean, Jonathan Hedrick is in here as well from the Recount. I mean, that guy's making a name for himself. Obviously, Travis Gibb is in here. Gosh, who am I forgetting?
Kurt Belcher has a fantastic story. Nathan Chio is in there. I believe I don't know her yet, but Colleen Douglas, I believe is her name. She's another one of the creators in there. And she has a fantastic. I mean, I've already previewed the book, and I have to tell you, it's a really fun book. I enjoyed reading through it. It's one of the few that I have like 20 short boxes that I have gone through, and this is one of the few things that I've like sat down and like went all the way through, and I was like, oh, this is so good. So I'm not even shilling here. I'm being honest. Please support the project. It is a fun book if you like the idea of mashing up horror with your holidays, bringing some of that ooky goodness into your festive holiday spirits. This book would definitely be for you.
So I think I can actually play the trailer real quick. Hold on.
Oh wow!
So I don't think the audio is playing, but it's all right, guys. You'll get to see all the cool stuff. And what I love about this is it is very much a take on, the Ebenezer Scrooge, those three ghosts going through Christmas past, Christmas present, Christmas future with an awesome Travis Gibb orange cone horror twist to it.
I can hear the music, and the music is great.
Oh, you do get to hear the music. Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely got that like John Carpenter feel.
Heck yeah, Jerome killed this. I think this is one of the best video promos for comics I have Very spooky. Jonathan Hedrick and Gabriel Nunez, which is literally the Recount team teaming back up on this one, which a lot of people are excited about.
This one's fantastic.
Covered by Shane Holt, like you said, Nottingham. Variant covers, I got some finger guns. I think Silverback. Yep, Silverbacks. I knew Silverbacks was in here too. Yeah, this is something I am super excited about. Jerome, a lot of people I feel like Jerome is the unsung hero of not just Orange Cone, but a lot of things. Letterers don't get a lot of love, but Jerome is a phenomenal, not just person, but comic person.
Yeah.
How were you? What was the pitch? How were you approached about this? Was it Jerome? Was it Travis? And how did they pitch it to you, Don?
Well, Jerome lettered the story for John Crowther and I with Cthulhu Invades Oz, and then a few months after that, he's like, I have this idea. I don't know how you feel about this. Basically, I want to bring horror to the holidays. I was like, that sounds amazing. It's funny. I never thought of myself as a horror artist, but I feel like most of my projects, especially the Kickstarter ones, have all been tied to horror. I've been on, I guess now 3 Cthulhu projects. And then we did Nightmare Theater with Dave Schrader and Clay Adams. Dave Schrader does Baby Badass, and Clay Adams, who does Red Xmas for Scout.
Yes.
So I guess I'm in the genre now with this medium, which is fantastic. But yeah, Jerome reached out to me. He's like, how do you feel about this idea? We'd love for you to come on board and help out. We have this idea, or I have this idea where, we're going to do like Tales from the Crypt style. We're going to have these characters come in and introduce each of these stories in between, and there's going to be this general arc or general thematic that ties everything together. And I was like, that sounds fantastic. And I don't think he had solidified his idea quite yet in terms of the characters at that point. Obviously, as I mentioned, we were still spitballing ideas about the spirits before the project completely came together and gelled. But yeah, I really think what they did is phenomenal. I think people are really going to enjoy this book. I've already enjoyed this book. I've read it twice. So
what's cool is like, as he mentioned actually up here, it's like he shows kind of everybody that's working on the book, and it's like, it's no joke. I mean, we know, being from Florida here, we know Travis and Jonathan very well, but Kurt is no slouch. Again, Gabo on the recount, his art's been phenomenal. You are no slouch. Craig Florence, Shane Volk on a cover is phenomenal. I mean, Mad Cave and Nottingham absolutely blew up. Jerome found himself a who's who, and then having a Brian Silverback's cover, I mean, that's never going to hurt you. But he really found a who's who here. When you guys are working on a project like this, I know technically each creative team has their story, and you guys kind of work on your thing. But is there collaboration? Like, is there a Slack or a Discord or a group text that happens amongst all you guys that you guys kind of say, hey, I'm doing this in my story, what are you guys doing? Or do you guys wait till everything's done before you talk about it?
The creators have been posting their works in progress in our Facebook group. So we have a production group on Facebook. Obviously it's there for Travis and for Jerome to disseminate important information for each team. But also everybody's been posting their work in progress, showing anything from pencils to inks and sometimes colors, or even the final product. So we've been able to track each of that. And, Jerome and Travis obviously get to see all that. But for me, it's also just been fun to get the sneak peeks of that. And then I know creators are sharing it through Facebook as well as we promote the project. And I've shared some concept work through, Instagram, Twitter, all my social media accounts, so people get to see how the characters came to be or came about. I don't know if they want me to share any of the stuff that we spitball, because I think we came up with some pretty funny things, and hopefully you'll get to see that maybe as a blooper reel at some point. But yeah, there's one of a kitten that I think would be great. So hopefully we can return to revisit that idea. But yeah, it's for us as a group. I think everybody is in their own individual teams and has been working towards completion of their own end. And then it's just been nice. It seems like a really great group of people. I have yet to meet everybody because I'm a West Coast person. And my first time on the East Coast at a convention was actually a couple of weeks ago at Baltimore Comic-Con. And I had fans come up to talk about Cthulhu Invades Oz and made some new fans too. So it's great to meet people who really enjoy the work that Orange Cone is putting out. I think they're a great group of people, and they're really supporting their creators, and the fans are enjoying the product, and they get the product out, which is, to me, one of the most important things you can do on any crowdfunding campaign, is to make sure you deliver the goods. And they've done that time and time again.
Well, and that's part of the thing. I applaud Travis Gibb, and I'm sure his track record on Kickstarter alone speaks to all this. But it's not easy to produce and print and do all of this stuff that you guys do as independent creators. But Travis also project manages so many other projects that he doesn't even write in. And he fulfills, man. I don't ever throw any names out, but being here in Central Florida, there is a creator who created his own publication company that is banned from Kickstarter because he never actually fulfilled his Kickstarters. And that's a reality, and that scares people sometimes. But then to the opposite side of that coin is a Travis Gibb, who has never not fulfilled, always has his book done before he goes to Kickstarter, like 90% of the time. And if not, it's done before it ends. And he usually fulfills within a month, which is, I think, I'm used to that being normal. But I feel like that's very quick in the Kickstarter world to get.
It definitely is, yeah. I mean, they told me when their deadlines were and when they were expecting to have it done. And I know the campaign ends on the 25th, which is funny because I'll be at San Diego Comic-Con Special Edition, which is on the 26th. So I won't be able to promote it there, unfortunately. But yeah, as far as I know, as soon as it ends and we give that 2-week period for Kickstarter to collect their fees and then submit the funds back to the creators so that they can start with production. I believe they're looking to deliver by Christmas time, sometime in December, which is amazing. And yeah, a lot of people, I think, are spoiled with Orange Code and what Travis and Jerome have done in terms of that delivery process. Because even for me, I think my delivery time from finish to print. It must have been, I want to say, 3 or 4 months at least.
And that's from what I'm understanding, it's a little bit more of the norm. I think what Travis does, because he was telling me this, because I think we're setting up a signing for sometime before Christmas. I have the date here somewhere, but Travis obviously has done stuff for Orange Cone for a while. I believe he actually sends the books off to be printed before Kickstarter even clears the money to him, which saves him some time.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah. But the thing is, even the people, because we had Sean P. Terry, who's a great guy. He did the bar. He got his stuff fulfilled. He had to wait for Kickstarter to clear, so he had to do that 2 weeks, which is tough. You got to wait 2 weeks after it closes. But he had them out in less than a month. I mean, I'm assuming he rushed his print maybe a little bit, but that gets really good reviews. That gets word of mouth. You know, people then tell somebody, dude, I backed this guy and it was awesome. Like, and that helps. We've backed a lot of our Kickstarters because Travis told us that the people working on them were good people. So word of mouth absolutely helps in the Kickstarter world, I feel like.
Yeah, it definitely does. I mean, it's a community, and I feel like as a creator, you're a part of it. I just looked at my numbers. I think I'm at 132 projects backed, and there's still a few more that I have to jump on. Yeah. So I think, once you're in it, and the thing is, Kickstarter and crowdfunding in general has been amazing when it comes to the production of comics. I believe the numbers have shown that the last few years, in terms of the books that are put out and people that are supporting it, it beats the big 2 or even big 3 that people think of. So there is a market for indie books, and it is amazing to see people supporting indie books and new stories, new storytelling, new characters, new ideas. So I'm glad that this is a proving ground.
Absolutely. And again, it's like Travis, Orange Cone and Travis are an independent family in a way. The guy will host round tables literally with the anticipation of, hey, promote your Kickstarter. Hopefully we get you some extra money. Like, he's not benefiting at all. I love what he's doing with the independent community. And all of you guys really are. John Hedrick, David Byrne, David Galliano. I mean, those guys are really promoting that independent family that's going on right now. Gabe, I do have the bar. I'll make sure to give one to Max tomorrow so he can put it in your box for the auction. But they did finally come in. I should let people know when Kickstarters come in a little better. So, Don, one of the other things you're working on with us is... Oh, Sean actually just came in the comments. Sean, we were just talking about the bar. So
Sean.
Actually. Yes, Sean was on the show a couple weeks back. And like I said, he fulfilled his books. And they were in before Halloween. I love when thematic books can make that deadline, like how this can make it before Christmas. Last year, Cthulhu Invades Oz made it before Christmas. I love that. I really do. But Don, you're working on another little bit of a project for us, a cover.
Yes.
For David Byrne, who David Byrne actually has been in the comments here. David Byrne's Jessamy. I think I can share that. Give me 2 seconds. But yeah, Travis, I believe, set us up with working with you for a cool vampire cover.
Yes.
For Stake, and this is your work in progress still. You're doing this on paper as of now, you said.
Yeah, so I did a digital layout, and then I just wanted to see what it would look like on paper. So this is the digital one that you're showing right now. And this was just a quick, loose layout that I just tightened the pencils a little bit on. And then I want to see how it would turn out on paper. I think it's turned out great, but if things don't work out, then I can always fall back on the digital one if need be and clean that up. But yeah, usually I like to do a few setups before I go final.
Let me get, is this the digital, I think? Nope, wrong one. Hold on, I got the other one, which is very, very clean. You can see where you're going with it. There it is. So there, I love what you're doing with it. And one of my favorite things, since David Byrne is still here. Oh, so David said, I hadn't even seen what you picked until now. So there you go, Dave. You're getting first look. What was funny, and since Dave's here, so I don't know how much you know about Stake, Don, but the vampires in Stake don't have fangs.
Oh, oops.
Whoa, no. So see, our owner Brendan, he's a big fan. Grew up with Lost Boys and all this stuff. Vampires are important to him.
Yeah.
And he said, if they don't have fangs, how are they vampires? So, Francesca's watching too. So Brendan said, if they don't have fangs, how are they vampires? Like they would just be dripping blood everywhere. So Brendan was actually excited to see that you did draw fangs. He said, perfect. He did. Hashtag no fangs. But how do they penetrate the skin? Now we're getting into semantics. But how do they penetrate the skin if they don't have fangs?
Well, that's why I read through Steak. And I thought maybe I'm just like of the mindset where I just automatically insert things with my imagination. But I think if I'm not mistaken, I don't want to reveal too much about it, but there is an intrigue to this. Funny because I am drawing long nails for her. There's a certain intrigue as things are not completely revealed in scene. I feel like. So I think that's probably why I just automatically go, oh, here we go. We're just going to do this.
And what I love about David's Steak universe, if that, I guess that's what we could call it, the Steak universe. What I love about it is he actually does not hold back at taking shots at pop culture vampires. You know, he jokes that like, everybody thinks they have fangs. And I think at one point in the book, he has a guy hiss at somebody like, and it's like, that's how vampires really would do. But in our media, that's what we assume. And I love how much fun Dave's been having with Steak. And I'm glad that we can have an artist of your caliber doing a cover for us because him and Francesca, who's the artist on Steak and Jessamy, are actually doing a tour of, I want to say, the East Coast, Florida. And they're going to be in our store the 17th of November.
Nice.
This won't be done until January when they come back and visit January 8th. But we're looking forward to having this cover because we've never done a exclusive for Jessamy. So this will be cool.
Wait, so do I need to do an edit? Because I sent this off to Travis and nobody mentioned that part.
Are we talking about the fangs still?
Yeah.
Oh, dude. Unless David's going to, like, rip our arms off, we're keeping those fangs. Like, you know, like, I'm all for the fangs. So Brendan even said... we have a cardboard cutout that of one of the characters because David left it for us when he was at an event so that we could promote. And Brendan's like, I'm drawing fangs on that that cardboard cutout. So we're doing fangs over here at the collective, you know. So
yeah. We're doing the Fang edition.
I feel like Travis should have said something, but it's okay. It's okay.
I guess maybe he didn't say, but yeah, I feel like the digital in this book had blood all over us.
When he's signing copies, he'll scratch out the fangs.
Nice. We could just get a gel pen, and you could just draw.
Yeah, we can make it work, right?
Yeah.
White out. Do people still use that in 2021?
Yeah.
So this cover I'm super excited about, man. And again, it's just a work in progress, but I can't wait to see what you do. I love that you have the kind of the bodies on the floor. You have her there. She's got her dope collar popped and everything. Like I love the look of this. It's like new age vampire with old school, you know, a little bit Dracula, you know, things like that. Reminds me a little bit of what was it? Leslie Nielsen's Dracula. I know that was a common parody, but it reminds me of that.
That's a kudos to the creative team. You know, the character design. I just love the look of what they came up with, and that's all in the book. Like, you know, me flipping through it, I was like, oh, this is so cool. Like the period that it's set in, that the story is set in, and all the variants that came with it. So I try to steal a little bit of everything that I thought was really neat from the project and incorporate it into this one image.
Well, and I'm excited to see it once you have it fully colored too, because even just seeing on this, the black with the gold and everything and the blood, like, oh my gosh, it's awesome. Like, I can't wait. Like, I'm honestly tempted to be like, we're going to do two versions, this version and a full color version, you know?
Nice.
But yeah, it's awesome, Don. I can't wait. All right, so we've talked enough about things that you've done with other people. You have a project of your own called Pablo the Gorilla?
Yes, I have a project of my own called Pablo Gorilla. It funded in 2019, and I was supposed to tour with it in 2020, but obviously the pandemic put the kibosh on that. It's about an albino cyborg gorilla who delivers pizza and just wants to live a normal life, but the government that created him, they want their property back. And he's also being hunted by something a little more sinister from his past. So yeah, I will. You can find it on my shop. You can find it through any of my social media. It's available on my Etsy store, and I will have it at conventions for as long as they last. And I don't know how long that will be because I only printed 2,000 copies. So there's 1,000 of the regular cover, and then 500 sketch covers, 500 of the Don Nguyen covers, which will be a Comic-Con special edition. And then the other project I'm on right now is actually called Retro. That's being done with my friend Aaron Lindenthaler. And that's why I haven't been able to get back to Pablo. Pablo #2 is being written. I'm working on it. I hope to have it, funded or on Kickstarter by Q1 of next year. But Retro is what we're currently working on, and I'm working on coloring it and lettering it for pitch. And it's also being shot as a live action. We had debuted it in 2019 with Dances with Films at the TCL Chinese Theaters as a sort of animated motion comic short. And now they've shot a live action of it with actor Reno Wilson, who some people might know from Good Girls, and he was on Mike and Molly. So they're doing that, and hopefully we'll be able to get those into smart film festivals because I believe they shot it all on iPhone. And then we have a 27-page comic I just finished. Yeah, so that's been inked, and that's being colored, and it's going to pitch. So we'll see where it goes. Worst comes to worst, you'll see it also on Kickstarter.
That's awesome. So like, is there a way that we can get some copies of Pablo the Gorilla here at the Collective?
Yeah, of course. I have a retailer special, so after the show, we can talk about it. I can definitely send you guys out some copies of that.
Perfect. I don't know if Travis had let you know or whatnot, but part of the reason we have the relationship we do with Travis is we actually have a whole section of the store called the Collective Initiative. And it's Kickstarter and small press. So things that don't come from Diamond, things that we order directly from creators, get their very own shelf space here in the store. We're up to like 35, 40 titles on that shelf. So like, I'm really proud of that. Yeah.
That's really cool. And, thank you for being one of the shops, that supports indies. I'm sure you support your local indies as well as the Kickstarter and crowdfunding indies. And that's just, furthering the community, I believe, in fostering the community. And hopefully we get to introduce our books, to also a new, younger audience so that they can get interested and invested in comics. Because I feel like there's just so much ground left in terms of storytelling and artwork to explore. And, now that the internet is what it is and social media is what it is, we sort of see that globalization and democratization of that, which is fantastic.
Yeah, and you said it perfectly too. We got to get kids, not forcefully, but we got to get kids into comics however we can, because that is the future of the industry. That's the future artists. Those are your future writers. Those are your future buyers. So we have a very big kids section as well. And anytime I see a Kickstarter for an all ages book, I jump on it, even if the price is a little heavy, because you gotta buy the all ages books in order to make sure that they keep making all ages books. It's that double-edged sword. So I love supporting stuff like that. I know Jonathan Hedrick, who worked on, he did the Exit Us story. He's writing his first children's book for Scoop. Wow. So it's really cool. It's cool to see people who write crime. Like Jonathan, all of Jonathan's books prior to this would not be for kids. But now he's writing a kid's book, and it's really cool to see people stretch their dynamic that far,
Yeah, I didn't think my book would be kid appropriate, but apparently my biggest fans are a 7 and 9-year-old. Even though somebody gets speared right in like the first 2 pages of my comic, like through the head.
Kids are with Fortnite and everything nowadays, they've seen some stuff, right? Yeah,
that's what parents say. Parents are like, they've seen worse.
See, and Joe just said, as a dad himself, he loves to tell people that comics are for kids too. And actually, with Halloween right around the corner, we have like 2 or 3 customers that they'll come in and they'll buy up a lot of our dollar kids books. Yeah, because they say that for Halloween, candy, they don't skimp on the candy, but they do candy and a free comic book for the kids, which I think is genius. I love it.
That is, yeah.
So Don, man, thank you so much for coming on. We're gonna have to have you back on before we actually print the cover, so that way you could talk us through the process and everything like that. Okay. But I'm so excited to finally meet the man that Travis Gibb. Travis spoke highly of you.
Thank
He
you.
showed me a couple of just images of your work, and I said that looks good. Next thing I know, he's like, "Yeah, Don's working on your cover. We will pay him later. Like it's going." But no, I'm so happy that you're the guy that we're working with on
Well,
this.
thank you very much for having me on and for the opportunity. And I'm gonna do my best to knock it out of the park because there's no try. And yeah, I really look forward to this. And the book is fantastic. I read Stake and I was like, oh, what happens next? Because I just love. I don't know if I'm revealing too much that it's a period piece in a way.
I love Stake because David went a little unconventional with making his first arc, I think like 7 issues, which is a little wild, a little out there. And then Jessamy having this spin-off property that kind of works as that when you go on your hiatus, you actually still have something else. He's on hiatus with Stake, but now we have Jessamy. And I love that. And I think that's a way to keep yourself topical, keep yourself current and everything like that. So again, it's awesome. And Don, if you're ever in Florida, period, let us know. You're always welcome to come sign at the store. We take care of y'all, but yeah, we definitely would love to have you here.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Yep. And I stand corrected. It was 6 issues. Still. You ever heard of 5, David? 5. All right.
Overachievers.
I love steak and I'm vegetarian. Quote me. That's going on the back of the trade right there, Joe.
Nice.
But Don, thanks for stopping by, man. We'll definitely make sure to get some Pablo and the Gorilla here in the store, and we'll actually make sure. I know we gotta send you comps, but we'll also make sure we send a couple copies off to you so that you can sign them and we can have them here in the store.
Of course, yeah. Thank you very much, Danny. Appreciate that.
No problem, Don. I'll talk to you later, man. Thank you so much for giving us the time today.
Later.
Take it easy. So that was Don Nguyen, the artist of Cthulhu Invades Oz, Holiday Spirits, Pablo and the Gorilla, and our Jessamy exclusive cover that'll be hitting in January. Thank you so much to Don and Travis Gibb and Jerome for setting this up. Do not forget, David Burns got Stake. Did I pause? Oh, there we go. David Burns got Stake. Francesca and David will be here at the Collective November 17th signing books, anything that they haven't already signed, and then we'll have some new stuff as well. And then they'll be back in January with 2 store exclusives, a trade for Stake and the single issue for Jessamy. So we'll see you tomorrow. Max's Dollar Auction, 5:30.